My name's Caleb Stoner. I'm interviewing Nancy Soderberg.
Soderberg.
Soderberg? I've always called you Soderberg.
I know, everybody does.
Yeah. Caleb Stoner. I'm interviewing Nancy Soderberg. And I decided to interview you because when I stopped to actually think about it, you were probably on the list of probably the craziest job as far as insanely high up there, I should say, high ranking that I've ever met. And just full of knowledge, so I figured that this would be the ideal individual to go with. So I'd like to start off with the first question, kind of like you explain the meat and potatoes, and then we'll talk about like where you're from and all that and what got you there. So,
The meat and potatoes of the job that I had in the White House?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That job.
Well, first of all, the best way to a very high-level job is to work for an individual who then wins the presidential election, because you get to go with him. And I worked for President Clinton in '92 and then became the third ranked person on the National Security Council, with a nice office in the West Wing, and just was in the middle of everything, good and bad. My main job was to help coordinate the formulation of U.S. policy and to take on specific projects. I had the Irish peace process. We were pushing the IRA to have a ceasefire, which we did in '94. A lot of Vietnam, a lot of Bosnia, a lot of Haiti. Remember going back and forth to Haiti many times and talking late at night to President Aristide, who'd been ousted, and jet-setting around the world with President Clinton on Air Force One, and state dinners, and a lot of long nights. It was great.
So now this is going to be a little random. Was the food pretty good on Air Force One?
It is, actually.
It's very good. Like, how about in the White House?
Well, it depends on, the president has a chef that travels on Air Force One, so it tended to be what Bill Clinton wanted to eat. So when I was there, it was before he became a vegan. It was a lot of
he was a vegan?
Mexican, not then.
Not then?
He was a McDonald's hamburger and potato guy. So we had a lot of, Mexican food and things like that. But in the White House, we had a White House mess that was actually really good food. And then state dinners, of course, are amazingly elegant. So you can't complain about the food. You can complain about the hours, and the rest of your life goes away. I would always cancel dinners, weekends, vacations. You just always had to be available 24/7. So your personal life just basically gets put on hold.
For 8 years.
Well, it got better when I went to the UN. I was at the White House for the first 4 years, and then when I was at the UN, it was much more predictable. So they don't work the way the president does. And
explain the job title for the majority of the 4 years. It was you dealt with foreign policy as the U.S. Was it ambassador or
up at the UN? I was the alternate representative for the UN for the U.S. mission to the UN. So that was the alternate ambassador. So I had to go through Senate confirmation and get the title for life. So that's
good. Man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And note to everyone watching this documentary, right before I got here to do the interview, Fox, what you said, it was Fox? Or the
Fox News, yeah.
Yeah, Fox as in the Fox.
It's the local affiliate.
Local
Action
affiliate.
News is the local affiliate of Fox News.
Okay, because that's what I thought at first, and I was thinking after I said it. But either way, yeah, so the Fox News local affiliate, you said, just had left here after interviewing, and do you mind talking about what they asked you?
No,
you said it was about the Pope asking.
The Pope had made a reference to the instability in the Middle East potentially leading to World War III, and our local rep had also made similar comments to that. So they wanted me to respond to that, and I don't think we're on the verge of World War III, but we do need to make sure that we step up and stop this cancer before it spreads. And because America's the superpower, we're the ones with the target on our back, so we can't sit on the sideline, as tempting as that is at times. My own book that came out in 2005 was called The Superpower Myth, and it was right after the first George Bush term, looking at the use of and misuse of American might from Clinton's taking office in January of 1993 through the first Bush term. And the myth was that because we're the only superpower in the world, we could do whatever we want. And the truth is we can't do everything, so we need to lead the world, make the right policies so the rest of the world follows us. What I find is if the United States doesn't take action, sits on the sideline, the rest of the world is jello. And it needs us to set the policy, lead, and urge people to follow us.
And war not being the only option, but instead move into, the religious side, the economic. I remember you talking about economically changing another country, or not changing, but helping another country, figuring all the problems.
Or increasing the pain. I mean, the U.S. has a toolbox, and there's diplomacy, there's sending young people abroad to get to know the other countries, having foreigners come here, all that soft power stuff. You can have economic sanctions, you can have economic aid, and of course military. So there's a mix and match of tools that you can take out to address various challenges, and it's up to the president to get it right. And they don't always get it right. They're human, as much as we like to not think that they are. It's very hard, but very simple. Go with your gut, and don't be afraid to change. Don't listen to your parents, but go with your gut of what you really want to do. And I teach college now, and I encourage people to use college as an exploration of what you love. Try different things, but go with what you love, because then you'll never feel like it's a job, and you'll do well. The worst thing is to get a job in your 20s that you don't like and you don't change, and all of a sudden you're 40 and you're not happy. And you're not going to do well, and that shows. I also really encourage students to do internships, because how do you know it's all in your head. So go get that internship in the Senate. I've got students in embassies all across Paris, Moscow, Peru, working for the World Food Program around the world, working in Washington in Congress, the State Department, the Pentagon, business, lobbying groups, nonprofits, whatever your passion is, it's out there. Internships give you the context to help you get the next job, a series of recommendations, and also it tells you if you hate it. If you hate it, you run away as fast as you can. So build a series of mentors that are in the field that you can talk to get a sense. Work there for a couple of years after school, and then after college, and then you got to get a grad degree nowadays. It's too competitive. The world is flat. You're competing against all those, not just the Ivy Leaguers for jobs, but also the Chinese and the Indians and the Brazilians. They're all here. And so, take that time. And then by the time you're 26, 28, you're set for life. And you have a great one.
Yeah. Well, I could sit here and talk. I know I could sit here and talk to you for another hour and a half. I have so many more questions, but I guess I got to wait till my next class.
All right,
meaning next class where I have another interview, because you will be I'll come back again, because this is awesome. And
great.
Sorry about the last minute, but thank you very much.
My pleasure. Good luck.
Guess we'll cut it off. That concludes.
All right. Bye.